If you are enrolled in IGNOU MSCRWEE and the codes MRWP-001 and MRWP-002 are sitting in your grade card with nothing next to them, this is the video you were looking for. Over the next 25 minutes, I will take you through both project courses from picking a topic to the day your marks appear. Here is what you will walk away with. 6 things you will be able to do without asking anyone. Separate the 2 project courses properly. Write the synopsis in the university's own format. Build the report in the university's own structure. Pick a supervisor who is actually eligible. Submit each document to the correct place. And avoid the specific mistakes that get MSCRWEE proposals sent back. Quick word on who is talking. I am B.K. Sani. Since 2010, I have worked with IGNOU distance learning students on project reports, synopses, and submissions. Here is where every number in this video comes from. The School of Engineering and Technology project guides for MRWP-001 and MRWP-002. The official MSCRWEE program page on ignou.ac.in. The IGNOU catalog record, and the Student Evaluation Division submission notifications. Let me give you the 30-second answer first, in case that is all you came for. MSCRWEE is IGNOU's Master of Science in Renewable Energy and Environment, run by the School of Engineering and Technology. It carries 2 project courses. MRWP-001 is Industrial Training or Minor Project, 6 credits, sitting in Semester 2. MRWP-002 is the Major Project, 12 credits, sitting in Semester 4. Both need an approved synopsis before you write anything. And for the Major Project, the report carries 70% of the marks and the viva-voce carries 30. So Part 1. The program itself, because a surprising number of students reach the project stage without knowing how their own degree is built. MSCRWEE is a 66-credit program across 4 semesters with a minimum duration of 24 months. The fee listed on the official page is 12,500 rupees per year, and examination fees sit outside that. It is offered by the School of Engineering and Technology, in English, in open and distance learning mode. The stated eligibility is broad, and that matters for your project. IGNOU accepts graduates in engineering, science, architecture, and computer application, along with B.Voc holders in renewable energy or a relevant area. Your topic should play to the background you actually have, not the one you wish you had. Here is the semester map, and this is the part people get wrong. Semester 1 is theory. Semester 2 carries 3 theory courses plus MRWP-001, your 6-credit minor project. Semester 3 is 3 theory courses plus your first elective. Semester 4 is your second elective plus MRWP-002, the 12-credit major project. So the 2 projects are not back-to-back. There is a full semester of theory between them, and that gap is where most students lose time. And here is a detail almost nobody mentions. The program is modular. The official description says there is an exit option as a PG Diploma in Renewable Energy and Environment after the first year, which is 34 credits. Add Semester 1 and Semester 2. 16 plus 18. Exactly 34. Which means MRWP-001 sits inside that block. Your minor project is not padding, it is part of the credit weight that earns the diploma exit. Part 2. The difference between the 2 courses, because treating them as the same task is the single most expensive mistake in this program. Read this table row by row. MRWP-001 is Industrial Training or Minor Project, 6 credits, Semester 2. MRWP-002 is the Major Project, 12 credits, a Semester 4. MRWP-001 is short and exposure-led, MRWP-002 is a full research dissertation, and the evaluation differs. For the major project, the university splits mark 70-30 between the report and the viva-voce. Start with MRWP-001 because the title itself gives you two routes and you have to pick one. Route A is industrial training in a renewable energy or environment setting. Route B is a self-contained minor project on one narrow question. If you take the training route, the official guide includes a training certificate format. That certificate is issued by the organization, it names the systems you were exposed to, and it names your mentor. Get it before you leave. Chasing it 6 months later is painful. MRWP-002 is a different animal. It is independent research on a problem in energy conversion, energy conservation, or environment. The official report format names a literature review as a required section. Your methodology has to be explained well enough that another person could repeat your work, and it ends with a viva-voce carrying 30% of your marks. Now here is the assumption that costs students a semester. One synopsis does not cover both courses. MRWP-001 and MRWP-002 are separate courses with separate proposals, separate approvals, and separate project proposal numbers. Each has its own pro forma. Each envelope carries its own course code on the outside. Submit a proposal for the minor project and quietly assume it clears the major project, and you will find out otherwise a semester later, with no time left to fix it. Part 3. Choosing what to actually work on. And the good news is that you are not guessing, because the university publishes the categories. The project guide lists 9 categories your work can fall under. A comprehensive case study of an energy conversion system, a conservation measure, or an environmental issue, field-oriented analysis or design problems, energy management meaning an audit or conservation study of an industry, or a survey of management practices, pollution control using biofuels or a renewable energy system, increasing the efficiency of a system, cogeneration or waste heat recovery, policy related to energy and environment, green buildings, and energy harvesting. If your idea does not map cleanly onto one of these, reshape it until it does. And it gets more specific because the approval pro forma itself carries a subject area list. Energy conversion process, energy conservation, exergy analysis, solar, wind and bioenergy, renewable energy systems, energy management, energy audit, environmental law, energy policy and energy pricing, economic analysis and life cycle cost analysis, energy and environment interaction, biofuels, solar PV systems, fuel cells, green buildings, hydrogen, energy harvesting and energy storage. Pick your subject area from this list and write it on the pro forma exactly as the university words it. Before you commit, run your idea through 5 questions. Does it sit inside one of the 9 official categories? Can you name the exact data you will collect and where it will come from, as a named source rather than a vague answer? Can a working professional finish it in one semester alongside a job? Is there a supervisor near you who is a genuine expert in that specific area? And can you state in one sentence the contribution the study will make? If any of those 5 is shaky, the proposal is shaky. And these are the patterns that get topics sent back. A title so wide it could be a textbook chapter rather than one semester of work. No stated source of data, just an intention to study something. A topic needing laboratory access or equipment you have not actually arranged. A supervisor from an unrelated speciality attached to a technical topic. Part 4. Your supervisors, plural. And this catches almost everyone because most students only ever hear about one. The guide is explicit on this. There will be 2 supervisors. The first is an internal supervisor from the School of Engineering and Technology faculty at IGNOU headquarters. You do not choose this person. You are allotted one, based on the area your project falls into. And that supervisor guides your problem formulation and methodology and takes part in the evaluation. You identify this one yourself. and the guide says preferably from your own place of work. The eligibility bar is printed in the guide. Your local supervisor should hold a postgraduate degree in the concerned discipline with relevant working experience or a PhD in the relevant field. Now, one detail worth flagging honestly. The MRWP-002 guide states at least 2 years of experience for the postgraduate route. Editions of the MRWP-001 guide have carried a higher figure, so do not take a number from a video, mine included. Open the booklet for the course you are registered in, find the experience figure printed there, and make sure your guide's biodata clears it. And here is a limit that almost nobody reads. At any given point of time, a local supervisor cannot guide more than 5 students. That is straight from the guide. The proforma even has a field asking how many students are currently working under that supervisor for this course. So if the popular guide in your area already has 5 MSCRWEE students on their list, your proposal is at risk before anyone has even read your topic. Ask the question early. There is also one hard rule stated in plain language. A spouse, direct relatives, and blood relations are not permitted to be the guide. It does not matter how well qualified that person is, or that they happen to work in exactly your field. And if the faculty does not approve your proposed guide for any reason, the position is clear. You change the guide, and you submit the project proposal afresh with the new guide signature, because the university treats it as a brand new proposal. There is a note printed directly in the guide about matching. Students are advised to select supervisors who are active professionals in the relevant area of the selected topic. The guide gives its own example. If the topic is in solar energy, the supervisor should be an expert in solar energy. So what does your guide actually have to hand you? A detailed biodata, duly signed, their signature on the proforma for approval of project proposal, and if they happen to be an IGNOU academic counselor, the guide says it should be clearly mentioned which courses they counsel for and since when, with the name and code of their study center. Later, at report stage, they countersign your certificate of originality. Part 5. The Synopsis. This is the document that decides whether you spend the next semester writing or waiting. First, timing. For the major project, the guide states the timing directly. Students are advised to submit the synopsis in the 3rd semester. That reframes the calendar. The gap between your minor project and your major project is not empty. Semester 3 is the window in which your MRWP-002 proposal should already be moving through approval. So semester 4 is spent doing the work rather than waiting for permission to start. The format is published and it runs in a fixed order. Item 1, title of the project. Item 2, introduction. Item 3, objective of the study. Item 4, rationale of the study. Now, objective and rationale are 2 different things, and students constantly merge them. The objective is what you will do. The rationale is why it is worth doing at all. Write them as separate sections because they are numbered separately on the university's own format. Item 5 is detailed methodology, and this is where proposals live or die. Because the university does not leave it open. It breaks methodology into 8 named parts: research design, the nature and source of the data, sample and sampling technique, including why you chose that organization and that sample, tools and techniques for data collection, experimental details or details of the instrument or questionnaire and how they relate to your objectives, the method of data collection, data handling and analysis, and the statistical tools with an explanation of why they suit these objectives. Write all 8. Label them. Then items 6 to 9, and these are the ones most synopses simply leave out. Item 6, the expected contribution from the study. Item 7, a list of the activities you will carry out, supported by a bar chart showing the time schedule. Item 8, the places, labs, equipment and tools required. and how you have planned to arrange them. And Item 9. Problems envisaged in carrying out the project, if any. One small detail worth pausing on. Item 7 does not ask you for a paragraph about your timeline. It asks for a bar chart showing the time schedule. A simple activity versus weeks chart is enough. Literature review here, instrument design here, data collection here, analysis, then writing. 2 benefits. It signals a serious proposal to whoever is reading it, and it forces you to notice, on paper and in advance, if your plan does not actually fit inside the semester you have. Now, submission of the proposal. Exactly 3 things go into that envelope. 1. The proforma for approval of project proposal. Duly filled in and signed by both you and your local supervisor. 2. The detailed biodata of your local supervisor duly signed. 3. 1 copy of the synopsis. And the guide is blunt about the consequence. Proposals incomplete in any respect will not be accepted. Send 1 copy and keep 1 because you will need it again at report stage. The address is fixed and it is not your regional center. The proposal goes to the coordinator, MSCRWEE Program, Projects, School of Engineering and Technology, IGNOU, Maidangarhi, New Delhi 110068, and write your course code prominently on the outside of the envelope. MRWP-001 for the minor project, MRWP-002 for the major project. The MRWP-001 guide also publishes an email route. Email routes do change, so confirm the current one with the school before you rely on it alone. Part 6. What happens after you post it, and what to do if the answer is no. On approval, the guide commits to a window. A written communication regarding approval or non-approval will be sent within 4 weeks of the proposal being received in the school. If approved, a project proposal number is allotted, and you quote it in all correspondence from then on. And if it is not approved, do not panic, because a rejection is not a restart. Comments and suggestions for reformulating the project are communicated to you. You revise the synopsis to answer those comments specifically, not generally. You submit it with a revised project proposal pro forma. And critically, you attach a copy of the rejected synopsis and pro forma carrying the evaluator's comments, quoting the project proposal number allotted by the school. That attachment tells the reviewer you are responding to their feedback rather than starting from 0. A practical note on resubmission. From watching a lot of these go around a second time. Answer the comment. Do not rewrite the whole dream. If the objection was about your methodology, expand your methodology and leave your title alone. If the objection was about your guide, change the guide and leave the research design exactly as it was. Every unnecessary change you make gives the reviewer a fresh surface to raise a fresh question on, and that is how a 1-round correction becomes a 3-round correction. Part 7. The final report. And again, you are not designing this from scratch, because the structure is published. Here is the published structure of the final report. Section 1, title of the project. 2, introduction. 3, literature review. 4, the objective and the methodology of the study. 5, statement of the problem. 6, your input, data, structure or questionnaire. Notice that literature review appears as a name section in its own right. Then section 7 to 11. 7, final results and discussion, which is your analysis, solution or description. 8, conclusion. 9, scope of future study. 10, references. And 11, 2 items most students forget. Publications related to the present work, if any, from conferences or journals, and a 1-page biodata of the student. If you have presented or published anything, put it in. The physical specification is stated, and it is not open to preference. The project work is submitted on a 4-size paper, typed in double space. in a bound volume. The length may be about 40 to 60 double-spaced typed pages, excluding appendices and exhibits, and you prepare 2 typed copies. Here is a myth worth killing. You will see word counts quoted all over the internet for MRWP-002, 8,000 words, 10,000 words. The SOET project guide does not say that. It gives a page count. Oso-san, about 40 to 60 double-spaced typed pages, excluding appendices and exhibits. And the double spacing matters because if you write single-space to reach 40 pages, you have effectively written 80 pages of content. Follow the specification printed in your own guide, not a number someone typed into a blog. Before you bind, check one thing. 3 documents go inside the report itself: the approved project proposal pro forma, the synopsis, and the certificate of originality of the work, issued by your local guide. This is exactly why you kept your own copy of the synopsis at proposal stage. The guide is direct about the consequence. If the report arrives without these, it is returned to the student for compliance, and returned means time you do not have. It is worth understanding what you are actually certifying. You submit a statement that the work is an original one, and that it has not been submitted earlier, either to this university or to any other institution, for fulfillment of the requirement of a course of study. That statement is countersigned by your local project guide, so your signature is not the only one on the line. Part 8. Submission. And this is the section that has changed the most in recent years. So pay attention to the difference between the 2 routes. The single most important thing here is that the synopsis and the report do not travel together. The synopsis goes to the School of Engineering and Technology Program Coordinator by post with the course code on the envelope, or through the published email route. The school approves it and you get a project proposal number. FAMA. The final report goes somewhere else entirely, to the Student Evaluation Division. In recent sessions, IGNOU has run an online project submission portal where the report is uploaded as one combined PDF, alongside the postal route to the registrar where that applies. So, critical point. Never upload your synopsis to the project submission portal. IGNOU states this explicitly. That portal is for the final project, dissertation, fieldwork journal, practicum file, or internship report. Notifications say plainly that students should not upload assignments or synopses there. A synopsis uploaded to the report portal is not an approved synopsis. It is a synopsis nobody read, and you will still be unapproved months later, wondering why nothing has happened. 2 dates govern everything. The guide states that the final report should be submitted in the 4th semester before the 31st of May or the 30th of November, whichever applies to your June or December term-end examination. IGNOU does extend these in some sessions, and it has done so recently, but you cannot plan around an extension that has not been announced. The project evaluation fee is normally paid with the examination form, and it depends on the credit weight of your project. 12 credits is not a small weight, so check the amount for your session. As soon as you submit the report, a project report number is allotted and you quote it in all correspondence with the Student Evaluation Division. Keep the 2 channels separate in your head. Anything about approval and the synopsis goes to the SOET coordinator. Anything about results and grades goes to the registrar, Student Evaluation Division. Part 9. How your 12 credits are actually scored, because you should know the marking scheme before you write, not after. The evaluation of the major project has 2 components: the dissertation or project report and the viva-voce. The weightage of the report is 70% and the viva-voce is 30%. 30% is a serious share. It is roughly a third of your 12-credit course. And the guide publishes the 6 criteria the report is scored on: presentation of content, novelty of the work, description of methodology, major findings and their discussion, conclusion and recommendation, and publications if any. Look at that list carefully because it is a writing brief, Novelty is a criterion, so a purely descriptive project is capped from the start. Methodology is a criterion, so those 8 subparts from your synopsis need to reappear. And findings and their discussion is one criterion, not 2. So presenting data without interpreting it only earns half of it. For the Viva, prepare for these 5, and it stops being frightening. Why this topic? And why this organization or site in particular? Why this methodology and what alternatives you rejected? Where the data came from and what its limitations are? What genuinely surprised you in the findings? And what you would do differently, which links straight back to your scope of future study section. Write the report properly and you have already prepared for the Viva. Part 10. Let us put all of this on a calendar, run the rejection checklist, and finish with the questions I am asked most. Here are 10 reasons a file comes back, and you can check every one in about 5 minutes. The proforma is unsigned. The supervisor's biodata is missing or unsigned. The synopsis skips the bar chart, the expected contribution, or the problems envisaged. Methodology is 1 paragraph instead of 8 named subparts. The supervisor's speciality does not match the topic. The supervisor is already guiding 5 students. The guide is a relative. The report is bound without the approved proforma, synopsis, or originality certificate. The report is single-spaced or outside the page range. Or the synopsis went to the online report portal instead of the school. And here is a calendar that actually works, built backwards from that deadline. Early in semester 3, shortlist your topic against the 9 categories. Approach 2 possible local supervisors rather than 1. And confirm neither is at the 5-student cap. Middle of semester 3, write the 9-part synopsis including the bar chart, and collect the signed biodata and proforma. Late in semester 3, post the proposal and expect written communication within 4 weeks. First half of semester 4, do the work and keep a running literature review. Second half, write the report, get the originality certificate countersigned, and bind it. So submit 2 weeks early because portals are slowest exactly when everyone needs them. Let me close with the questions I get asked most. Can I do MRWP-001 and MRWP-002 on the same topic? You can work in the same subject area, but they are separate courses with separate approvals, and the major project has to stand as independent research, not a longer version of your minor project. Is industrial training compulsory for MRWP-001? The title is Industrial Training or Minor Project, which gives you 2 routes, and the training route comes with a certificate format for the organization to issue. Can my office colleague be my local supervisor? Yes, and the guide prefers it, provided they meet the qualification bar and are not a relative. How long does approval take? 4 weeks in writing, from the proposal reaching the school. Build that into your calendar instead of treating it as a surprise. Does my guide get paid? Yes. The guide states that the local project guide is paid a token honorarium as per IGNOU norms, and the remuneration bill in the booklet lists separate rates for guidance and for evaluation. And where do I check whether my project was received? Your project report number is the tracking handle, and correspondence about results and grades goes to the registrar, Student Evaluation Division. Quote in that number. That is the complete picture. MRWP-001, 6 credits, Semester 2, Industrial Training or Minor Project. MRWP-002, 12 credits. Semester 4, Major Project, mark 70% on the report and 30 on the Viva. A 9-part synopsis, an 11-section report, 2 supervisors, 1 bound volume, synopsis to the School of Engineering and Technology, report to the Student Evaluation Division. Never the other way round. Dates, fees, and email routes are what IGNOU revises between sessions, so confirm those on ignou.ac.in before you act. If this helped, subscribe. The next video goes deeper into MSCRWEE project topics. I am BK Sani. This channel is independent and is not the official IGNOU channel.